Welcome to Sports Talk, week number 8. I'm your host, Mike Yellak, alongside Dustin Pastula, the Dust, as everyone refers to him as on here. It's right here.
All both of us.
Yeah. Welcome back to Sports Talk. We've taken a hiatus, and the bye week came, and we're rested up. We're well rested. Well, kind of. He's actually dealing with a little bit of an illness now.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
But we're all rested, and I'm back, and we're back. And
I'm here, and it's the dedication of the job, I guess.
2014, welcome back. We're going to put the first couple weeks that we did film, due to technical difficulties, we couldn't get that up, but now you should
Even though one of the episodes we say we don't have technical difficulties, obviously we did.
Yeah.
So that was we kind of jinxed ourselves.
Yes.
So we're not going to even...
But we hope you like the new look and everything. This is going to be the look from now on. So we hope you like it. This is it. We're here, and we're back.
Also, we're going to start getting a little more active on Twitter. So
yes.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Tweet back, retweet, all that little chirpy stuff.
Absolutely. No, that was cute the way you did that. All right, let's begin. Week number 8 with our 5-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Where do you go from here? Some people are saying it's a fake 5-1. But it's a kind of 5-1 that they're 5-1 nonetheless. Stop saying, well, it's a weak 5-1, and the Dallas is a strong 6-1. Stop.
It's irrelevant, Just like, for example, I know we've talked about it before the show. I think the Patriots are not the Patriots of old, and it's like I said that they're a weak 5-2 team, but that doesn't really matter because they're still 5-2.
Right.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you get the win, how beautiful or how ugly. You're 5-1, you're 5-2, you're 6-1, whatever. You're still on top of the division. You're still, well, not on top of the division, but
yeah, they're on top of their division.
I'm saying you're not guaranteed on top to be 5-1.
But here's the thing about this: the Eagles are 5-1 nonetheless. Now we're coming out of a bye week. We're getting our offensive line back. Not this week, but in the coming weeks. But let me tell you who we're getting back. Not really even getting back, but Darren Sproles will be playing on Sunday more than likely. So he's actually not going to miss any time because the bye week healed him up. So that's a big bullet there, huge bullet. I thought he might be out for the season. And he's not even going to miss any time. We are also getting our inside linebacker Michael Kendricks back, which is huge.
That's big
because Casey Matthews
is fantastic. Wait, that's the other one.
Yes, exactly. So Michael Kendricks back. We are also getting our third string running back, Chris Polk, back. That's also going to matter because, if Darren Sproles can't go, one of them's going to go.
And, Chris Polk in the past has shown some very good skills. So, you're thinking, third string running back, why does that matter? No, it matters. How many times have you seen him punch it in on the goal line? Yeah. Like, he is useful. Right. So,
And then this is the date they said, November 10th. The Eagles were going to be all healed up, Jason Kelce coming back. I think Jason Kelce might come back before that, the Texans game. But Evan Mathis also back. So our offensive line will be intact. The running game, hopefully well. Mm-hmm. You saw it with that Giants game. That was just total domination.
Oh, I think that I can't even speak. Yeah. I don't even know when was the last time I saw a defense so torn up from beginning to end. Literally just torn up. It was absolutely incredible.
8 sacks the Eagles got. Couldn't protect Eli to save his life. Giants couldn't run the ball. They couldn't pass the ball. It was just... 27-0. Giants couldn't do a thing. I love games like that. Connor Barwin played out of his mind. This Eagles defense, if they play like that every game, we'll be undefeated. We'll go undefeated the rest of the season. So I don't think they will. But that was just, if I see that Eagles defense, then I'll be thinking Super Bowl, absolutely. And that's where I'm going to get to this next part with the NFC. Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFC.
Right.
Who else is in the NFC? Because you look at the two teams you were thinking we don't want to travel to. and that's the Saints and the Seahawks. And right now, the Saints stink, and the Seahawks
3-3.
3-3. They're average.
They keep losing.
So they're not exactly good either. So my thing is now, are we the best team in the NFC? And then we look to the division, and we see there's that stubborn 6-1 Dallas Cowboys. So are they our biggest threat in the NFC?
When you look at the entire NFC, I think that you're going to find a hard time picking a team that's as well-rounded. I hate to say this. This hurts coming out.
I already know what you're going to say.
But it is as well-rounded as the Cowboys. I mean, the past few games, their running game, their passing game, the reason why they're doing so well, to be completely honest, is that offensive line. That offensive line is almost immaculate. I mean, some of the, and especially when you look at the replays, some of those blocks just perfectly, running back right up the middle, nobody even breathing on him, let alone laying a hand on him. So, I mean, when you're looking at not just the division, but the whole NFC, I mean, really the only wall to break down for the Eagles, I think, is in their own division, and it is the Dallas Cowboys.
Here's my problem with saying the Cowboys, though. You look at the teams they've beaten, and I have some of them right here in front of me. You have the Titans, was their first victory, and they're 2-5. You have the Seahawks, they're 3-3. You have the Giants, they're 3-4. The teams they've beaten, and I looked this up before.
Mm-hmm.
They have average records like 3-3, or losing records. They haven't really played anyone. Everyone says, "Oh, they went up to Seattle. They played the Seahawks."
Well, here's now here's my rebuttal to that. And I'm by no means defending or supporting the Cowboys. I'm just coming at it from an unbiased standpoint, looking at both teams as just a sports guy, not a football guy, but a sports guy. And watching the few games that I had seeing the highlights that they show of the Cowboys games, it's not the teams that they play. To me, it's, and I always look at this, it's the performance of the team. Okay, the Cowboys, for some reason, are, at least right now, the past 2-3 games right now, have been in a really good rhythm. They've been connecting, firing on all cylinders. And just that switch can make the best team out of the worst team. So, and what I'm trying to say is, to be completely honest, let's look here at the NFC. Okay? Let's try and find stronger teams.
I'll tell you what.
Your strongest teams are in the AFC, in the league. Your strongest teams are in the AFC. I'm not saying that the Cowboys are for real. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm not saying that the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders. I'm saying right now they've connected all the dots, and they are playing, and you know how I love this, they are playing as a team. As a full team. And I think it's their gift and their curse, because they're playing like this, they're playing phenomenal, they're playing great, they're winning games. But it's, if one person is off, the whole team is going to be off. And because that's just how the Cowboys work.
I watched them go into an overtime game with the 3-4 Texans. I'm sorry. This team is not for real. DeMarco Murray had 7 straight games, every game this season so far, of 100 yards or more. He'll be on pace to break every single record, which is why, and he's injury prone, you know that, which is why I think he breaks down very, very soon. And you already saw it on Sunday when he tripped over nothing. There was nobody even there, and his ankle starts hurting him. I think it's this close to just imploding. Doug Freeze out for a little bit more. Tony Romo's back. You have that going on. DeMarco Murray. If DeMarco Murray gets injured, that is it. And you know what? I think it's going to happen. And I'm not scared to play the Cowboys. Bring it on. I'm not scared to play the Cowboys. They don't intimidate me.
And they shouldn't, because, like I said, and this is why this is why I'm not saying they are the real deal, because it's sort of like an illusion.
It is.
They're playing well together, which is making them win games, and win games easily. But like you said, you throw in the factors who they play, and the fact of the matter is, just like you said with the DeMarcus Murray, I just said before you even went into that little rant there, if one person is off, the whole team is going to crumble, because that's how the Cowboys are. What makes a great team and what makes a team the real deal is playing. When you play as a team, you're perfect and unbeatable. But if people start falling off, you still have that one guy, those two guys that see the rest of the team crumbling and amp up their performance to keep the team winning. That's what makes a team for real. The Cowboys don't have that. And that's why I'm saying there should be no fear for the Eagles to play the Cowboys, but as of right now, and this is what we're talking about because this is where we are right now, can't predict the future, they are a well-oiled machine.
Sure. I think right now the Eagles' biggest threat in the NFC is not the Cowboys. And I'll tell you who I think it is. I think it's the Packers. They have looked sharp ever since Aaron Rodgers came out and said 5 letters, RELAX. Relax. And ever since that point, they've won every single game. They're 5-2, if I'm not mistaken here.
You are right.
I don't see it, but they're 5-2, and they look brilliant. And I do not want, and we do have to go up to Green Bay, Lambeau Field, and play the Packers, and I think that is a stone cold loss. I have the Eagles right now. I went from 10-6 to 11-5 to now 12-4. They're only going to lose 3 more games this year. One of those will be against the Packers. It's a stone cold lock. I don't think there's any way they walk away with Green Bay with a win. I really don't. It's just not going to happen.
I feel like you're blowing a lot of smoke up Aaron's butt right now, to be completely honest. I mean,
he's a great quarterback. Way better than Tony Romo.
Exactly.
Well, then what's the problem here? Like, you don't think they're a much better team than the Dallas Cowboys? Who's better, the Cowboys or the Packers?
Well, to be completely honest, I think it's 2 different teams. To be honest, and not obviously they're different. They're in different cities, whatever. But it's 2 different teams with 2 completely different playing styles, and I think that if you can't go into Green Bay, win, and then go down to Dallas and play the same way you played in Green Bay and still win. That's how different I see those teams being. Okay, you have to have a different game plan for each.
Right.
So that being said, when it comes down to Dallas and Green Bay, I think that that battle has to go week by week.
I'm going to say the Packers right now.
They're both riding the momentum train.
Yeah, they are.
They're both riding the momentum train. They actually have two seats next to each other.
I think right there, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers. Which one will fall first? Cowboys. I really think it's Cowboys. I think Eagles, Packers, NFC Championship game. Book it. That's just my opinion. Will anybody in the NFC South come back? Probably not. I don't think the Saints will be a threat. I don't think the Falcons will be a threat. Bucks, they're just a joke. And Panthers will win by default. And they're not even that great right now.
And that's sad that you win by your default.
Well. And what are the Panthers? They are 3-1. Remember that from last year? I actually like that because it's like, well, not even last year, like a couple years ago, because there's finally been a tie. The Bengals and Panthers. That's a pathetic game. I feel like I always waste time when games end up being tied. It's almost like we are 3-1. And it's just like, how can you beat a tie? You couldn't kick a field goal, and they tried, and they missed. And that's just, to me, that's just, a kicker has one job. You know how much I love kickers. They have one job to do, and you couldn't do the one job you have to do. He should have been cut the moment that happened, but that's a different story.
We don't have enough time in this segment to go into kickers, so let's see. Let's get into the last 2 topics here. Peyton Manning, best quarterback ever? He was out for how many years with that injury?
1 year.
I don't. I don't think.
I wouldn't say ever. He's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I would not say he's the best quarterback ever.
No, not ever.
You know, but he's up there. If he stays in the league a couple more years and keeps putting up these numbers, then we'll talk. Colts, the real deal. Yes.
I think the Colts are the real deal. I mean, you looked at that the first 2 games of the season for the Colts. They lost them, and one was actually against the Eagles, which they could have easily won. Ever since then, they've won. And I think the Colts will definitely make the playoffs. They'll have that division wrapped up by late November. Their division's awful.
They're first in yards.
Yeah.
First in the league in passing. Second in the league in points. And on defense, they are in the top 10 in all categories.
Right.
They're statistically, performance-wise, players, everything's in top condition for them right now. They are their own weakness right now.
Right. I agree. Before we go to break, I want to bring up one more thing. And that's the worst. I love talking about the worst teams in the NFL right now.
You do. And I tried to purposely skip it because it's irrelevant. Okay? I'm just going to give it to you by the records that these teams have. You have the Raiders down here, the Jaguars, and the Jets.
Right.
The Jets and the Jags are 1-6. The Raiders are 0-6. The Raiders are the worst team. There it is.
You really think the Raiders are the worst team? Because I would actually disagree with you and say the Jets are the worst team.
That actually surprises me. I thought you were going to say the Jags.
No, the Jags.
And I was going to come at you with they actually played a pretty good game.
I never saw that game coming, by the way.
They played.
Never.
You have to admit that they played well. Despite Bortles or whatever the heck his weird name is, his 3 interceptions within the first 3 minutes or whatever the heck that was pretty pathetic.
I didn't see that.
That was the regular Jaguars.
I'm actually. I think the Browns are really good this year.
Right. And they are good this year, and that's what I mean. Like the Browns are a decent team. I feel that they are above average.
So I would say out of that list, the Jaguars are the first.
I agree.
Then the Raiders, because they had the Arizona Cardinals. Not that they're good, on the ropes, but the Jets they're. Geno Smith is and I'm going to go on record here, Geno Smith is the worst quarterback in the league.
And with you saying all that, this is why I say that the Patriots are the weakest they've been in at least a decade, because you should not beat the Jets by only 2 points.
Well,
you as Tom Brady should not be 20 for 37 with Geno Smith 20 for 34. You should not have 261 yards and Geno Smith is right on your tail with 226 yards. You should not both have the same average yards per pass at 20 yards. You should be blowing him out of the water. Geno Smith, Tom Brady.
I agree.
Why?
I don't know, but...
That's why I say Tom Brady's playing like crap this year. Yeah, he won. Yeah, he's getting back on track, kinda. But when you put up relatively the same numbers as Geno Smith, you're struggling.
And with that, we'll be back right here on Sports Talk.